Welcome to this week's Hot Seat on Friday, where I host panelists and journalists to discuss topical issues of the week. My name is Derek Wandera. In studio, I have very able men to tackle the issues that are happening in the public domain. I have on my extreme left Jimmy Odochi. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
And I have Obed Katurebe, who is the acting executive director of Uganda Media Center. Today I had to say it the way he wants me to say it. Welcome to the show, Obed.
Thank you so much, Bwana Wandera, and good evening, listeners.
And I have Dismas Nkunda from the Civil Society, veteran journalist. Welcome to the show.
I finally pronounced the name properly, Nkunda, not Nkunda.
Nkunda.
Yes.
Dismas Nkunda.
Yes.
All right. Quite a number of things that are happening quite a number of things that are happening within the public domain. But yesterday, actually this week, Norbert Mao said there is no transition that's going to happen on the ballot. Transition is only going to be happening in secrecy, where they are going to be holding talks. And not necessarily going to the ballot. Now, he speaks this just 2 days away. Actually, maybe a week away from the nominations of the presidential race for the 2026. And yesterday there was iPod. And to be honest with you, I saw the five presidents of the different political parties, all of them speaking in unison, as if they had been scripted on preparation for whatever they were going to have. But the word was, you have to say, one, that we are for dialogue. For us, we are part of the iPod. And I saw a letter from National Unity Platform protesting why they had not been invited for this iPod. And for a very long time, NUP and FDC had not been in the same room with President Museveni in terms of iPod. Yesterday, President Patrick Oboyamriat of FDC was in Kololo, plus his Secretary General, who is also a presidential flag bearer for the party, Nandala Mafabi. I want to begin with you, Dismas.
Why me?
He's your Obi. And former head boy.
One of the things that I think Mwanga Chivumbi said when he was responding to Mao's statement was that when you people were in school, the things that the opposition, Bobby Wine, is doing are the ones you expected Norbert Mao to be doing now. Mm-hmm. And it's shameful that he's not doing them now. It's someone else coming.
Well, Norbert Mao, I phoned him in Midyango. He was my head prefect. At that time, he was a very quiet person. Easily wouldn't tell that he would become a politician. We actually used to call him a hermit because he was always in a blue suit like this one, which Sabit is putting on, and walking very quietly. You wouldn't know, but the only one thing you never did was to cross his path, because he was very, very strict. I remember I received a bad end from him as a student, because I refused to put on the school badge, and he told me if he sees me again without a school badge on the shirt, I would go back to Kisoro on foot. Then much later, of course, when he went to the university, he became the guild president. But even that guild president, I think what he's practicing now is essentially what he did. At that time, he was standing against Norbert Mao, Mayombo. And that was possibly one of the most fierce campaigns that they had. And essentially, what happened is that because Mayombo was a threat to him, and he needed to win at all costs, he had to get a person to ally with, and he allied with a gentleman who's called Vuba, Mfubaya was from, I think it's from Ajuani, and that's how he won the election to become the president. So if you fast forward and bring it to what is happening now, for him to sustain, I think his politics, he has the politics of agitation, but when it comes to compromise and the maintaining of power using any means, it doesn't matter for him. So I think he's practicing what he
exactly had always expected. We are also joined by Isaac Ayonde. He's no longer the Gomba's finest, of course.
Of course, he was dethroned.
You must
He was dethroned officially.
I am still Gomba's finest. One loss doesn't mean I haven't gone for that.
We are also joined by my nephew, my very senior brother, Joseph Sabiti. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's very good to see this gentleman, especially Obed, looking really good in the big chair that is. I think it's long overdue for confirmation, really.
Yeah,
yes.
True. Now, don't throw your political. No, don't. I am going to Jimmy. Jimmy, we want you to be Jimmy, what do you read into Mao's speech? Mao is someone you know quite well, affably, especially when it comes to regional location in terms of his home and the politics back home there. And the way he's espousing things right now, I saw him yesterday. He was speaking, he's an eloquent man and very gifted with language and diction. And he will say something and it will sway everyone. What do you read into his words? Looks like he preempted the iPod summit yesterday.
Mao is usually is moderate. He's not an extremist. He doesn't say very bad things like he did. I think it's coming from somewhere. It's unlike him. It's not him saying, maybe it's pushed to, maybe there are discussions that we are not privy to. Like he said, these things are not in the on television where but they are taking place somewhere else. But he has always mentioned that there's a transition taking place. So when he goes back home, he say, who are the people on your team? So he speaks like he's agitated about the transition. Maybe he thinks he will have a key role to play. But what he spoke was like an outburst. We'll wait to see whether it's going to be a pattern or it's just a one-off like that. But it's really unlike him. He's a moderate, eloquent, as you say.
I actually don't think he was being extreme. Do you think?
When he says this is going to be the quietest election maybe in the whole world, or what you've had, you're not going to have processions, you'll go to where you have your rally. It's a bit, it's not Mao to say that. Him saying it is a bit.
He's the Minister of Justice and
Justice doesn't, that docket, you don't behave like that. If it was maybe Otafire, maybe internal affairs, maybe defense and all that. But he's supposed to project a kind of, a democratic, it's not democratic. That speech or that, it wasn't democratic at all. And it's unlike him, and he's not the president of the Democratic Party, can't be speaking like that. Unless he's become NRM, real NRM, but just using the cover of Democratic Party as to hold on.
He also said that going into this election, there are two sides. There is a side of the ones who are backing NRM, and he mentioned various of them, FDC,
Was
UPC.
the word backing NRM?
Well, that's paraphrasing. But he said there is a side.
They are working together.
There is a side that is with President Museveni.
No. He said there's a side that believes in dialogue. There are two blocks. There's a block that believes in dialogue. That believes that you can disagree, but still talk. Then there is the rubber dub group that believes we are not talking to anybody, we are not negotiating with anyone. I think for me,
but is the dialogue?
I was just explaining the context of what he's saying.
But the context of does that show dialogue anyway? The way he expressed himself.
Because he also mentions a person like who Mpuga, DF. And I actually spoke, it's our lead story today, which I wrote last night. I spoke to Mpuga, and Mpuga said the only truth about Norbert Mao is just his name. Other than that,
and he also said that Mao likes attention.
Yes, he also says Mao likes attention and things like that.
Like all politicians.
Isaac, I am going to bring you Obed last. Because Obed, you have a lot of explaining.
He's agitating.
So for me, two things here. First and foremost, Mao is a politician. For as far as I've known him, he has always sought power. And I think he has read the 48 laws of power very well. And he understands that for you to get power, you must be near power. You must have experienced it. That it's in rare occasions that, you know, someone out there who doesn't know anything, an outcast. So he has aligned himself and he has become close to power. And largely maybe for him to understand how it operates. And when he comes and speaks on a forum, I think he's telling the truth. You know, as inconvenient as it might be, when he explains to you that, you know, the transition will have to be negotiated, the context in which he's saying is that, look, we have 5 different political parties who have agreed that we need to talk. These political parties are 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. Then he mentioned the other bloc as the regime change fundamentalists. You know, those, of course, he said the Agende group. And when you understand and you see, there is nothing new in politics. What happened here has happened elsewhere, whether there is a leader of 40 years, there are other places which have had leaders of 40 years. And the dangers of bringing inexperienced leaders through other means, other than dialogue, are what he's advocating you know, it should not happen to our nation. If you're an admirer of Kenyan politics, there is nobody in government today or in opposition in Kenya who didn't serve in Moi's government. You know, whether it is Raila Odinga, whether it is, with the exception of the younger ones, these, you know.
No, but even the young ones were somewhere.
Even the young ones were somewhere. So the idea that, look, what Mao was simply stating is that, look, we want change, but not at all costs. You get it? We want change, we want proper change, we want that fundamental change where negotiations happen. And I think he gave the broad coalition. You have put it in your headlines, the coalition of the willing. I didn't see when when the president was greeting Amuriat wanted to keep his stance of not greeting
but he couldn't succeed.
But in any case, he was there. You get? So I feel like even when you don't want to do something, at least you need to posture and show that, you know, dialogue is, what is so wrong about dialogue? You know, him talking about this election being the quietest election, it's purely a political trend that I think he's calculating. In 2006, that election was something. Mambas, Besigye jailed, it was, you know, Kampala was swept by FDC, things like that. It was very noisy in that regard. I think people were lost in translation, really. When he said that it's going to be a very quiet election, he really just simply meant that, you know what, there will not be the things that happened in 2021. And for me, having listened to what he was saying, and then also him knowing that he has gone to pick nomination forms, he's going to contest, the others are also going to contest, all the parties that did not turn up at iPod. I think we've read what Rongoya has written, a protest letter, why they are being sidelined from these activities of the National Consultative Forum. It's with him. So you really see that now. You realize that, you know what, if you don't get there, either NUP is seeing that they may lose out in terms of resources and be unable, we want to be a part of it, or they felt that the mistake of not being there was showing them as the radical extremists that they are. So for me, there is nothing fundamentally that Mao said that is wrong with the politics, and I think for me, dialogue should be the thing that every political party ascribes to.
Let's go for a quick commercial break, and when it's done, I will come with the 933 KFM. Welcome back from the quick commercial break. My name is Derek Wadera. I have Joseph, I have Dismas, I have Katurebe, I have Odochi, and I have Isaac. My nephew Kusiembiayo Kabadeka Kodio. That's the Uganda saying.
But there is also another nephew of yours.
No, this nephew is going to come. He has special treatment tonight. Joseph, your kinsman is speaking with the tongue in cheek, seemingly, but yet, if you listen to the gravity of the words that he is speaking, some might actually say this is the reality that anyone would shy away from speaking. What do you think about it?
Derek, I wanted to say two things. One, the concept of that some people are talking and are going to iPod and some are not. Let's first demystify that illusion. Did you see Rubongoya's letter whining about not being invited to iPod?
He was whining about not being invited to the National Consultative.
No. Read that letter. If you want, I can even ask you to read it verbatim. The National Consultative Forum and the Interparty Organization for Dialogue are two different entities with two different operational procedures. The last paragraph of that letter says, for example, on this date, people have been invited in Kololo and we have been sidelined. Noop is crying, woo-wee, they have left us out. While trying to posture that we will not talk to this man, they call a dictator, will not greet him and everything like that. I wanted us to first clear that air. That when the Political Parties and Organizations Act was amended to tie funding of parties to participation in the Interparty Organization for Dialogue, membership and participation, the so-called radical rubber-dub approach of Noop collapsed. Because then they want the 5 billion. Okay? So that letter shows you the reality. That one, while they act that they don't want to talk to the man, they don't want to be seen near him, they have realized that that might be the only way to access the money. The money that they use to buy headquarters at inflated prices, the money that they use.
You even know the
yeah, I have documents. Yes.
Just flash them on social media.
They are there, you saw them. You saw Rubongoya crying when those documents went public. The money that they use to inflate headquarters, the money that they use to, if you look at that's public funding.
But at least they inflate. There are those who don't even buy at all.
First wait.
We have our plots. We have them. You can't build in the air.
I'm just saying. No,
you
You have never been to the NRM house.
Headquarters.
Listen. We have plot for the Chadondo.
Derek is trying to divert me. So here's the point. Out of all those parties, all the political parties registered in this country, at the mention of money, all of them are willing to sit and talk with the man they say they can't talk to, they can't touch.
Not all of them.
All. Mention one that's not willing.
Is it willing?
It has no representation in parliament, so they don't even qualify to go to iPod.
Would they go?
If they had an MP, Mutu would have been in Kololo. PFF.
Would they be there?
No.
So it's wrong to say.
Now let me tell you why they would. PFF is what Mwenda would call the bastard child of the FDC. This is what the FDC used to play, and Jimmy, that's why you got it wrong. That during the days of BCJ and things like that, they would not go there. This is what they used to do. They would participate in the iPod Council. Their Secretary General would be fully involved. They would only pull out at the summit. They were part of all processes of iPod.
Yes.
All of it.
In fact, the first one, they were the chairperson.
No, the iPod is not just that summit. That summit is the apex body.
Yes.
This is what the FDC would do. They would participate in all the other processes. Now, when they have secured their interest and everything is sorted, when it comes to the summit, now they jump out. It is all acts of political posturing. You talked about my senior brother, the Honorable Norbert Mao. Let me ask you an honest question. If you want a position of the NRM government and what it's going to do, is the Honorable Mao the one to give that position to you?
No.
So why are you taking him so seriously?
Why not?
Okay.
Why not?
Why should we not take
I'm
it
saying,
seriously?
forget the you see, I come from the school of realism. Obed, myself, Dismas, we can be cabinet ministers and on whatever. They can give it.
You pray hard.
For illustration purposes, I'm saying they can appoint us to cabinet. But in the grand scheme of things, when people are communicating strategic decisions of where the NRM is going tomorrow, do they need the DP president to communicate it?
That's what.
So why are you building a castle over a statement, an opinion of the Honorable Norbert Mao?
Why not?
Who is Mao in the grand scheme of things?
Never know.
No, you tell me who he is. When you're talking about the ideologues, the people who give direction for the NRM, they'll tell you President Museveni is our vision bearer. They'll tell you General Kahindo Tafira will speak and they say, you know, the man has come a long way. He's a confidant of the president. General Saleh will speak. They say, well, the man has been part of government. My brother Norbert Mao just found himself in there through the window yesterday. He cannot be speaking for this government.
No, it doesn't matter when you come in. It does not matter when.
How I wish we did take him serious. Jimmy, now this is for the acting executive.
But if I can conclude before the ED comes in, I am saying, I was talking about whether or not Mao, Norbert Honorable, should be the person to give a strategic direction of the government. But also, let's face reality.
It's of the government or it's of the
iPod.
The iPod and the political process coming in the future. When you say government, that becomes a different matter.
No. I'm just, so who is going to manage transition in this country? iPod.
No, but there is a
Never
difference.
know, because that's what they're saying.
Guys,
iPod.
No, here is what I'm saying. That one, the Honorable Norbert Mao is a wordsmith. The gist of what I'm saying is this. He's outspoken. He likes to speak his mind. He's open-minded. He will say things whether you like it or you don't like it. So I think the context of debating that statement should be a Norbert Mao statement. But when you say you know all these parties that were in Kololo have agreed this, that's what I disagree with.
They were speaking the same language. But I want to come to you, Obed. Norbert Mao is the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. A minister of that nature, at that rank, represents the government in all ways, in all manner of ways. Leave alone this trying to. He was appointed to that position, knowing that he is going to speak at any time, but his word is going to be representative of government. Obed, is this the government position when he says that power cannot be transition cannot happen on ballot? But also, does he mean the fact that this election is going to be as quiet as he says?
First of all, he's the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. Yes, but he's not the official spokesperson of government. That is Chris Bariomonsi, and he's not even the Secretary General of NRM, the party that is in power. So if they want to communicate something as a position of NRM, it must be Chadondo. But having said that, Mao is he's a bright chap. He's not a person who would think he would talk. He's a loose talker. He talks things he has thought through. Maybe. And you know, there is one thing you must realize, and you will agree with me. Mao is a big admirer of President Museveni. They may can disagree on certain things, but he's a huge admirer of President Museveni.
In fact, he was quoting his speech in 1997.
I remember years ago, it was a public debate, and he said we must respect this man who has tamed the mad tiger. Leading Uganda is like managing a mad tiger. Uganda is a mad tiger, but someone who has managed to stabilize this mad tiger for the many years then and to date is a huge admirer. And also don't forget that he came into government after huge negotiations, I think led by General Saleh. There was a strong negotiation, but I'm not saying that is the position of ruling government. What he said, in my view, this is what he's reading. As someone now who's not talking from outside, but someone who's talking from within.
Yes.
So he's reading.
Is he actually inside?
He is.
He's in the inside of the outside.
Why not?
No.
I agree.
No.
He's in the inside
You see,
Of the outside, yes. I agree.
He's inside. The man is a Minister of Justice. He's a cabinet member. You've seen him representing Museveni on various functions and
Now
stuff like
iPod.
that. He is. Yes. Now President Museveni has had
He's the chair of the iPod summit.
of
now.
iPod.
The first
I think
time
this
President Museveni
Hands over peacefully.
So,
peacefully.
yeah.
He was also shocked by
Not
the-
the first time though.
Let me
iPod is
wind up.
Summit is
You know,
rotation.
there's something he's reading. And I think having read Museveni, because he admires him a lot, he has realized that really to attempt to dislodge Museveni with your threats or violence, that is when you get finished and just exited completely. So he has read that in this posture of of protest and whatever, those ones won't do anything. He now realizes, like someone said, I think it's this month, I think he's in his mindset, we need to begin doing things the Kenyan way. You know, they disagree politically, do what, but at some point they will agree to say, look, for the sake of continuity, for the sake of peace of our country and whatever, let's sit ground, let's do what, or even at times do an inclusive government. Roy Odinga may not be holding an official position, but he's literally, I think, maybe number two.
Yes.
De facto number two. And that's the how Kenyans have allowed to do their things and they push them far.
Are you saying Norbert is de facto number two?
No, not now. But maybe.
Yes, at the ministry.
I don't know why.
At the ministry, yes.
I don't want to weigh him, but what I know, he's part of government, he's part of the executive. And I think that's what he's been talking about, telling these radical noob people, saying, please. And he said, we were anti, we were radicalized, we opposed Museveni from the north, we paid the hugest price. So you people who are throwing arms around, you don't know who you are dealing with. Basically, I think that's the context he brought it up. You keep with your noise, with your protest and whatever, you just end there, and before you realize the new formation that is coming past Museveni, probably if he retires, will not be these radicals. It will be a group of the people who are willing to agree, to work together, and then form a sort of a coalition going ahead. I think that's the context I'm understanding him. Then the issue of saying, look, it will be peaceful. Basically, as a government official, is saying, come on, this noise, this threatening, what? Stop it. And nothing will happen. Government is prepared to have a peaceful election. And if you try, you'll be failed. I think he talked it as a government official, allaying fears of those who are trying to create a situation of violence, blah, 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 stuff like that. It was a position of as a minister, allaying the fears that people are trying to put in.
But you said he's not a spokesperson of the government.
Let's welcome back from that quick commercial break. My name is Derek Wandera. I have Joseph, who has just touched his mouth. I have this mask, he's also touching his mouth. I have Obed, I have Jimmy, and I have Isaac. This one, the three.
Isaac, the former Gomba's finest.
Listen, it is not over until it is over. Yes, the election is in January. I don't know what's wrong.
Guys,
And he's in a red shirt today.
Guys, just a day after the Honorable Chagulanyi said that he wants to be nominated on the same day with President Museveni and go and have a rally in Katwe and proceed to Natete on Tuesday next week, as President Museveni will be having his in Kololo. A day later, Electoral Commission slaps them with surprising news that all the signatures that you brought from 130 districts, some of them do not qualify. So you do not make the mark. You need to work as fast as you can to make sure that by nomination day you have enough signatures. And we know that the law requires 2/3. That is 98 of the districts in Uganda. They took 130. I want to begin with you.
Can I supplement on that question before he answers? And what is the deadline? Is there an extension that is expected that NUP would look at should they not meet the deadline?
No, it goes until the nomination day. But Electoral Commission has always advised that you bring those signatures in time, at least 2 weeks to the nomination, such that they are scrutinized, and if there are gaps like they have discovered in the NUP signatures, you can be able to go back to the field and then come back and rectify them.
Well, the way Dismas is pointing at me, you might think I have something to do with the Electoral Commission. I don't know what happens inside there. But I think that our electoral process is guided by the law. And the laws put specifications. You don't just bring papers and dump. I want to believe that all presidential candidates are being subjected to that scrutiny. That's why maybe Obed's people carried a truck, a full truck of signatures, so that you verify the ones you want, you give us back the bonus. Maybe that's why when people
did the same, 130 districts.
Well, they have published, the Electoral Commission has published the reasons why some districts were accepted and others were not accepted, the complete and the incomplete ones. I know that my friend, the Honorable Chagulanyi, had booked Tuesday for nominations. Today is Friday. Really, for a party that is the official position, I want to believe they should be able to rectify those. Those are really preliminaries that should be put aside very fast, and we focus on the main goal, which is the election. But from a strategy boardroom, it works. If I am speaking for NUP, what do I say? We told you this government is bad. They don't like competition. Now they have even chased away our signatures. You see what they are doing. It actually helps him build momentum for the nomination day.
But before you go, inform the country that they got 0 in Bukedia.
I want to
That's the one he saw.
I want to highlight on this issue. First, this is the first time Electoral Commission is requiring the signatures 2 weeks prior. It changed this because it realized that, you see, you would bring the signatures on nomination day, and then they would have no way of verifying, or if they verify, they would verify later. So Electoral Commission was very clear that this time you will hand in the things 2 weeks before, such that they verify. Which is fair. So the NUP brings 130, NRM brought all districts. I think 100 and something. And
there are 145.
145, 150 now. You have to.
These days you can't be sure.
Yeah, there are some.
Might have given us another district last night.
Districts. Yeah. But for me, the issue here is, and the Electoral Commission has not declared that, you know what, we have cancelled entire districts. It simply said, if you brought the list they have produced, the incomplete ones in Arua, Bukedi, and other places, they are saying, look, this area is not complete. It doesn't have the full 200 signatures that we want here.
They're supposed to be 100.
Okay, 100. There are 100 signatures here. So please, top up. And I have seen them lamenting, but this is precisely why the Electoral Commission set this period for verification before nomination. And I think they are within their job, and I don't think NUP will fail to raise the signatures. Let them stop just crying. Let them fulfill the thing. And
where the challenge is, NUP did not take their signatures yesterday, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
they are given the news today. Yes. I think NUP took their signatures on the second day when they...
No, but let me come here.
That's the second candidate.
Yes.
That's, I think, the third candidate they have turned away. So it's not the first candidate they've turned away.
But Wandera, before even...
You were showing me that start from that side. Now you can't come.
Okay, let me come in, because I don't want to lose this thought process. You know, I even saw, I think the other, not yesterday or whatever, it is crying for the gallery is real childish and won't help them as a serious political party. I mean, they were saying, we hear Electoral Commission wants to reject some of our signatures and whatever.
That's true.
Yes, before they even, because they knew they had done the work. That was preempting what they knew was obvious. How did they get to know that the Electoral Commission, when they, I mean,
but you speak as if you are.
No, but it is typical of people who are weak.
Not weak, people who they are always against them.
Who are disadvantaged.
No. Let me say my word, then you have yours as well. Typical of people who are weak at organization, people who are weak in terms of strategic thinking. They want to cry to the gallery so that they get sympathy feelings, as if they are being witch hunted out of the world. I don't understand. I mean, they are They have 52 something members of parliament. They're the biggest opposition party. Why are they always crying for the gallery to seek sympathy and whatever? We expect them by now. I mean, even one day, if they are serious.
What if NRM was in opposition?
No, you also will expect them to organize and be better. I mean, you can, even if they're serious and they claim what they are, one day you can get those signatures like Isaac was saying. But if they can't raise it, then they must be subjected to real standards that the Electoral Commission has subjected the rest. We don't want these crying for public sympathy.
Derek, do you really think Noop cannot raise those signatures?
I don't know.
We haven't said that they can.
Oh, the disadvantage when your people are being arrested, people are fearing to even sign for you because you know that you will be witch hunted. People are being
let them go and talk to the Honorable Nandala Mafavi. He has registered the presidential candidate
He's now
before.
part of NRM.
Forget the now. I'm saying go back, consult the people who have run the Dr. Besigye campaign, how they did it. That's why you go to school to learn from the experience of others. Crying will not solve that problem at the Electoral Commission.
You think Noop does not have Noop does not have intelligent people who know those?
No, but you see, you must also have serious people. What used to be serious people, they threw them out. The Mpugas of this world, they remained with
Mufumbira is the most serious.
Mufumbira and Zake.
Dismas, I want to bring you in here. What do you think about, now everyone keep quiet, Dismas has been quiet when you people were speaking.
What do I think about what?
Why can't these people get signatures?
What do you think about, is this foul play? Do you think there is some grand scheme that's going on there?
Actually, I wanted to ask a question. Who was it? Was it Isaac or was it you who was saying that that Chagulanyi wanted to be nominated on Tuesday and on the same day they are nominating Museveni?
Yeah,
it was you and and I think it reminds us of that nomination. Remember the day they nominated Besigye and Museveni at the same time?
Yes.
When Besigye moved from Nambole Stadium up to
Nachivubo. For 8 hours. 8 hours.
8 hours, and the confusion that it caused. So I don't know whether Noop is reading that through that, of saying that they wouldn't want to be on the same day nomination with the president. But I do believe, and I agree with entirely the people, if they have the capacity to be able to get those,
they do.
And they will get them.
They will get them.
They will get them. So I think for me, the other question he had framed in his submission was the issue about nominations and where they were going to hold rallies. I said, again, this is the confrontational aspect about Noop and their desire to cause noise. And when Mao tells you it won't be noisy, this is exactly what he's talking about.
But what's
so, for example,
no,
that's
saying that we are going to hold.
I mean, the point is that look, it's just another thing to cause disruption. That, for example, listen. For example, there are places they have chosen, Katwe, Natete, right? The campaign, according to the Electoral Commission, is not to start on nomination day. It's supposed to start 1 week after. It was supposed to be 2 weeks later. They have brought it closer to 1 week because they felt that they can't handle the pressure of making candidates wait for 2 weeks. So my issue here is that other than wanting to be confrontational, like what you saw with, I think it was either Nubian Lee's nomination or something, where candidates were told, come bring your papers, go back, the campaigns will start in November, right? Nubian Lee decides to do a procession, and then police gets involved, and the rest. I think he's
we are being very nice. The people who use that as the basis of their campaign.
Agreed. My issue here is then also please be ready for the repercussions of it. Do not judge or do not blame the person who is trying to keep the public order and management. What would they have lost if they said, okay, if police has told you, police has said don't go to Katwe and Natete on this particular day because those are very busy areas, you're going to disrupt business. Wait for the campaign.
That is their constituency.
Just to tell Isaac that President Museveni will be holding a rally
in Kololo.
They have not denied Noop. They have not told them not to hold a rally.
933 KFM, my name is Jerry Kwandera, hosting very able men here speaking a lot of English and politics. Joseph, Dismas, Nkunda. Nkunda.
Yes. How do you expect me to pronounce that?
He has just been correcting me. I have Jimmy and Isaac.
Is he the Oracle of Guru? This time now that
people were telling me, Jimmy, talk to your brother. They were mentioning all the O's. Said, but It's a national issue. You can't restrict to people from the area. It should concern all of us.
So in this final round of our show, we have about 7 minutes or so. I want us to use one minute each to speak about the BBC exposé about labor externalization and the issues it has caused, where it investigated, I think, 2 cases of ladies from Uganda, Birungi and Kaila, who went and died because of sexual trafficking that's happening in Dubai. And UAE at large. I want to begin with you, Joseph. These are some of the stories we've done, me and you, and we know how much we can get and how much we've seen. Do you think Uganda is better placed to address some of these matters? And for instance, even bringing some of those perpetrators to book?
Derek, there are 2 aspects. One, they're the economic realities of the country that is forcing people into so many things, including going abroad and things like that, because of the limited opportunities here. That's a reality that lives with us. That's point number 1. The second point is that there are people actually who leave jobs in Uganda because they want to go abroad. So there's the whole abroad excitement and concept and things like that also, because probably the money made across the other side is much better. So the government, everybody in authority has a responsibility, including that house that employs me, to look into these issues. There's need to look for proper ways of investigating and stopping issues of trafficking and things like that. There's a global, legal framework against human trafficking. On the question of sex trafficking, there are 2 aspects again to it.
Yes.
There are people who are victims of circumstances, unfortunately taken with different pledges of work and things like that, and forced into. Those are people I sympathize with. But can I tell you, you carry out an experiment today and say, I want to take 200 girls for the purpose of sex in an outside country. You tell me what you'll find out.
You might get 300.
Just tell me. Just tell me. I have.
What exactly are you trying to say?
No, I'm saying we need to separate the issues.
As a country, we are what?
I'm saying this must separate the issues. Right now, in universities, people are running cartels where they deliver girls. At 100, 200,000, you say you simply describe the shape. I want tall, extended bums, and what, and it is delivered.
It's not extended bums. They use different words.
And I'm just saying.
I want to cross to Isaac here.
Quick one. For me, 2 things. The expose really did really exposed the slave trade, really, as it is. But I want to emphasize people who are bashing this, people who are leaving to go and work abroad. This thing of externalization of labor is not a thing of Uganda alone. It is a thing of Africa. Vietnam is not in Africa. Is not in Pakistan. Excuse me.
Nepal.
Nepal. Pakistan has, I think, a higher number of people in Dubai doing. Indonesia has higher numbers. My point is that, look, we cannot throw the baby out with the bathwater because there is a problem with our sex trade. What I emphasize is that government, first of all, when you look at that case, those 2 girls did not go through the proper channels that usually the others go through. They did not go through a company, a company that is registered with the ministry and all that. Those people who go through and are treated badly in whatever the domestic thing, there are over 100,000 Ugandans who are in Dubai doing all kinds of jobs. Now, if you have these cases, which I don't want to say are isolated, but maybe you have every year about 10 people who have issues, or 20, or whatever it is, you expect that once you go there, the culture is quite different. We expect these challenges. The issue here is, what is government doing to support that external labor?
On that note,
yes. So the problem is regulation in the country. These agencies that take people to work in the Middle East, they are not regulated here. First, they can take you for this, that you're going to do this, and when you go there, it's something different. So the onus is on the government to regulate the agencies taking people out.
Okay, and let me.
There's a Minister of Labor.
Let me come in. And to answer both Isaac and Odochi. sad that that incident happened. Everybody would really feel sorry for whatever happened. And the two colleagues are saying, what is the government doing? You need to regulate and supervise the whole.
I commend the government.
But the thing is, I think Ugandans have a culture of discipline and wanting to cut corners. If there is any minister that has been at media center telling the country, I think she, Norbert Mao, has been very, very, very eloquent on this one. We're warning Ugandans not to go through panyas, these panyas via Kenya and whatever. But we have a culture of not wanting to listen to our government, to follow proper procedures, and prefer to deal with this bayaye who say cross Busia and we are connecting from Kenya. It's a culture that is so big. I don't know what we can do to cause a mindset change. We need to listen to our leaders, and indeed those that have gone through registered companies and whatever. You rarely hear cases of that nature. It is only those that bypass and go to Dubai and elsewhere using those downtown crooks who are.
The only problem I'm having is that they are conflicting. You help me, you are most of you are practicing journalists. There was a saying there was a ban on Uganda.
That was fake.
Fake news.
That's no clarity on
That's I wanted that clarity because because we were arguing with him when I saw about it. The point is we all have a lot of investment and the things that people do their businesses in Dubai. That kind of ban would have had a very, very long consequence on terms. But the thing is, I agree with what everybody is saying. The problem in Uganda, like Rick Sabit said, even if just now you went outside this building and you said, I need 7 people for this kind of thing to be done immediately.
Which you think?
that one.
Six trade.
Isaac said the trade in Nyash.
It's one of the biggest businesses in this town. Nyash business.
Nyash business.
Did you have to say my name? You could have just said Nyash.
Nyash business is a big one.